On behalf of all of us, my name is Beasley, saying so long and enjoy your evening and your May long weekend. Right now, Brendan Parker and Tim Hunter is standing by with tonight's Ram post-game show, brought to you by your Alberta Ram dealers.
Winning Motor Trend Truck of the Year 3 times in a row? That had never been done before. Then again, neither had a 12-inch touchscreen or 1,000 pound-feet of torque. Never been done before. It's just kind of our thing.
All right, welcome Inside Flames post-game live, brought to you by your Alberta Ram dealers. It is a victory for the Edmonton Oilers here tonight, and a series evened up at a win apiece thanks to a couple of goals in the third period. Brendan Parker alongside Tim Hunter, who has taken in the game tonight and watched both games. Kind of similarities in both games, but yet obviously less goals scored here tonight. But what did you see in terms of from one to the next here tonight?
Well, much different for me tonight. It was the second period and all the penalties. And, I think two things. Calgary's got to make sure they stay out of the penalty box. Yeah. And if they're taking 3 guys on scrums, they have to make sure they don't let the Oilers play 4-on-4. Too much room for McDavid. And then playing McDavid, the same thing. Don't be in a hurry to check McDavid. Remember, he has to go through you to get to the net. So if you're not in a hurry, he's got to get through you to get to the net eventually. So keep him on the outside. Don't be in a hurry to finish him. When you do get a chance to finish him after he's passed the puck, that's when you finish him, not when he's got the puck.
Yeah. And interesting dynamic that'll kind of progress as this series goes along. But special teams, you talked about, power plays aplenty, and ends up being fairly even at the end thanks to a couple of late power plays for the Calgary Flames. But how difficult is that when there's situations 4-on-4 and then you're going back to the penalty kill, but just to find your game when there's that many power play opportunities one way or another?
Well, you have that group of players that don't kill penalties or on the power play that don't get to play very much.
Yeah.
And the guys that don't kill penalties, your top players, aren't out there enough, and that's what you need. Calgary couldn't get rhythm. They couldn't get momentum 5-on-5, which they're very good at. So, one of those things, it's momentum shifts. Calgary learns on to Edmonton, and Edmonton, they wanted to come down here and win a game. Yep. Okay, we'll go back to Edmonton. Now they're going to have to play in their rink in front of their fans and the pressure that they're going to face in Edmonton.
Well, let's go through the goals as we take a look at this 5-3 final here tonight. And it actually got off to a really good start for the Calgary Flames, and part of that was even strength time. And they played it 5-on-5 to begin this game. And Michael Stone with a couple of windups, and nobody can shoot it harder than number 26 of the Calgary Flames, and he finally found one through the net here. Pretty impressive stuff here. Look at the block there first by Puljujärvi, and then the second shot. But Michael Stone, second of these postseason, and then they would set up this one here as well. And what do you see on the face-off play here, Tim?
Well, again, those goals in front of the net, and Calgary wins a face-off, and that's important. Win the face-offs in this series. And somebody doesn't take their guy going to the net. Ritchie gets to the net, beats his defense in the front of the net. Smith serves up a rebound, and boom, it's in. And sometimes the simple is the best, and not the perfecter pass trying to pass the puck in the net, but just getting it to the net is the key.
Here's another one of those examples, and this is one of those where McDavid gets the puck behind the net and finds Duncan Keith with some space and checked, but still gets the shot away.
Well, he's a crafty player, McDavid, behind the net. He's holding Erasmus's stick under his wing, and he's able to get it. But you got to have an eye on your defenseman when he's going down to the net and be aware of that stuff.
Yeah, coming downhill. And then this is the backdoor play that ends up being the only power play goal of the Calgary Flames night. And it's a nice little setup there from Elias Lindholm, the quick back pass, and then Tyler Toffoli on the backdoor.
Well, I always like a power play's chance when you get 10 or 12 minutes on the power play, which Calgary didn't get, but Edmonton got. You get 12 minutes, and it's a momentum-killing situation, and you keep the best players on the other team on the bench. And so to get 3 or 4 minutes on the power play is not great.
Here's where things start to turn around for the Edmonton Oilers, though, and it starts in a 4-on-4, and this was part of that just plenty of penalties that were onslaught to the box, and eventually this is one that pays off, but it's all McDavid. Beautiful finish.
Yeah, you talk about McDavid, and I mentioned earlier, we're going at McDavid here a little bit too aggressive. Remember, he's got to get through you to get to the net, so play between him and the net. He's got great foot speed, and you got a big defenseman that doesn't have the same kind of foot speed, and just be patient, wait him out. But I'm sure these guys will learn from that and be much better in Edmonton for it.
And here's what you talked about with the number of chances on the power play. I think it was 0 for 5 at that point, but this was the double minor. And I think just before the first part of that double minor was set to expire, Evan Bouchard rips that slap shot, lots of time and space. And for Bouchard, his third of this postseason, actually second of the postseason, and that was the tying goal. So here we are now in the third, and a power play opportunity that just jumps up over the stick and leads to a break the other way.
Yeah, one of those things, a tough break. But, you know, you look at the Bouchard goal, and he's got way too much time walking down Broadway looking at the net. And you give a good player a chance to shoot the puck with that much time, he's going to pick his poison and put it in where he wants to. And, you know, the rest of it's kind of gravy for the Oilers. But the game was gone by then.
And another rolling puck that's kind of loose on the wall that leads to that Draisaitl break. And for him, adds to the insurance marker for the Edmonton Oilers in a 5-3 victory. And now you mentioned, I mean, it's 1-1, series shifts back, but kind of what you'd expect, right? It's a battle of Alberta. It was never going to be 4 or 5 straight. It's going to be a battle, as it is so aptly stated. So, you know, what has to be kind of the mindset from a Flames group here now moving forward?
Well, you get to go to Edmonton, and you're the underdog going to Edmonton. They're supposed to win there. It's their building. You go in there, you check harder, you play smarter, you stay out of the box. Mm-hmm. You don't give him McDavid time alone in front of the net. You play off him a little bit. You force him to go through you to get to the net. And you go up there and you win 2 and come back here and finish the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you kind of take some of that road idea too, right? I mean, this has been a really good road team all season long, and part of that is because of maybe the simplicity they play in their game and that, you know, tight checking. And I know it's difficult, but this series hasn't had, you know, a number of those low-scoring games, we'll call that yet. But that road mentality has served them all this season. It could probably benefit here too, going into Game 3.
Yeah, they've gone on the road all year and been relaxed and went about their business and played the right way and the way that Darryl wants them to play. And guarantee you that's going to happen on Sunday in Edmonton. They're going to be relaxed. They're going to play their game. They're going to force Edmonton into mistakes, and they're going to jam it down them.
How do you, when you talk about, you know, these high-scoring games here so far in this series, there's been some physicality. We didn't see a lot of it in Game 1, a little bit more in Game 2. I mean, where do you see that sort of the stuff after the whistle, and how do you kind of, you know, manage the emotions that this series can provide?
Well, it always starts to ramp up in the middle of the series, 2, 3, 4 through those games.
Yeah,
you're starting to feel their way into it. Now they get a sense of what the referees are calling, what the rules are, and where they're balancing their marbles in their pockets here. And players, it's human nature. They're going to do what they can get away with, and they realize they're not getting away with their extra stuff, and they're not going to do it. So they'll be more disciplined. There'll be less penalties and less power play time for the Oilers.
Yeah, it has to be part of the discussion right away. I mean, and you mentioned it right off the top, taking 3 guys out of scrums and not 2, and that changes the conversation drastically. Now it's power plays instead of 4-on-4, right?
Yeah, and
Makes
you know,
tough.
back in the day, we didn't want to let Wayne Gretzky and Glenn Anderson have 4-on-3 or 4-on-4. It's too much time, too much space for them.
Too much
so
space.
we want to cut that out, and I'm sure they will. And they're a smart group, smart coaching staff. They'll get things figured out, no question.
How much does that weigh on penalty kills too? I mean, you get you talked about some of your top end guys that don't get a chance to come off the bench when you're spending so much time shorthanded, but it weighs on your PK too. And some of those guys that log those Lindholms and Backlunds and guys that log heavy penalty killing minutes.
Well, it wears them down for 5-on-5, but those guys relish that stuff. They love to get out there and make the difference. And okay, kill a penalty. Here you go, power play. Here you go, 5-on-5. You guys go get the job done. We did our job. But no question, it ruins the momentum. It ruins the flow of the game. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't get your best players out there and doesn't get guys rolling over. we didn't see Lucic, Lewis, and Ritchie for a number of times because of the power play and penalty killing situations. And those guys create momentum, and they get out there and make things happen and bang bodies. And Oilers don't want to see those guys coming over the bench.
Yeah, no kidding. You want to see some of that 5-on-5 rhythm and being able to work everybody through. This is a 4-line team, as Daryl Sutter has talked about numerous times this season, and that's the way they'd like to play it. Let's hear from the head coach now, though. Daryl Sutter standing by. Let's listen into his thoughts post-game following the 5-3 Game 2 loss.
Daryl, what was your what you saw with that game?
It's an exciting game. If we'd have won it, I'd be really happy.
What was the explanation that the ref gave you to you for the waved off goal?
Ours?
Yeah, yours.
It was whistle. Yeah. And I think that was theirs too.
Yeah.
Whistle. Yeah.
And at that point, when you hear that, there's no point in challenging because
Can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard on ours goal, you look at it, it's a goal, but I did hear the whistle prior.
How do you assess your team's play through 2 games of the series, Daryl?
I think we missed a lot of opportunities tonight. I think Markstrom was really, really good for us. I think that their individual skill stood out tonight in situations that they scored on. So that's something that's hard to handle. But some of that is also not 5-5. Right? There was a 4-on-4 goal, 5-4 goal, 5-4 goal for us, shorthanded goal for them. So, if you're not playing 5-5, that's definitely to their team's advantage.
Do you still feel like your team was the better team at 5-5?
Pardon?
Do you feel like your team was the better team at 5-5 when you were in that situation?
Tonight?
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of opportunities. I'm not sure of that. I mean, you gotta. If that's the game we're playing, then you got to outscore them 5-5.
Did you find that you clamped up defensively after game 1?
But we're only 1 goal against better. When you look at it, they're a high-scoring team. That's what I said. The individual skill sets can win the hockey game. So that was the difference tonight.
Was the McDavid goal the turning point in the game in your eyes?
The 4-on-4 goal. Yeah, I don't know. I think after we scored and then we took penalty, going 4-on-4 was a major. That was the McDavid goal, right? It's a 4-on-4, right after we score.
What can be done to prevent just going to the box at this
Pardon?
point? What can be done to just sort of stay out of the box at this point?
Stay out of the box.
What did you think of your team's special teams play?
Well, I haven't looked, but I think they were 1 for 6 in the power play, including the 4-minute that they scored with 1 second. If you could have got to the next part of it, right? But so we scored a power play goal and gave up a shorthanded goal. They were sitting on that from last game, though. You got one defenseman, 4 forwards out there. They got to execute, or else it's going to be going the other way. And that's what happened.
That's 2 games in a row. Your team has given up 4 goals in a row. Is that just them taking over?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know what, we've scored goals early and they've scored goals in between. I don't think it's anybody taking over. It's just, I just think the individual skill sets, we have to do it by committee. Very simple.
So short and sweet from Daryl Sutter here tonight, and not unexpected. I think the message is pretty simple about got to stay out of the box. You just can't get into this special teams battle with that team because, as he said, the individual skill set on that side, they thrive on those opportunities. Gave them too many here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It was more their plan. They ramped up their physicality tonight for sure. To a man, everybody was pushing and shoving and trying to get involved, and that was to try to drag the Flames into it a little bit too much emotionally. And you're on that fence, and I think Calgary went over just a little bit too much. When you, at the end of the day, and they gave Calgary a penalty power play late in the game to even things up 7 to 10 or 11 minutes, but too little, too late. they were out power played in the second period, and that was a big difference.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Daryl pointed specifically to the penalty that comes just after they make it 3-1. So you score that power play goal 3-1, and then that penalty is what ends up leading to that 4-on-4 goal. So obviously that'll be a big theme. But bright side in some ways that your PK goes 5 for 6, I suppose, if you look at 30% power play on the other side, and your PK does a pretty good job here through 2 games on home ice.
Yeah, it's done a great job. So, and they have all year. So go to Edmonton, be more disciplined, stay physical, ride that line that's going to keep you from taking too many penalties.
Yeah.
And they had a goal taken away, which would have been a big difference maker if the referee wasn't in the process of blowing the whistle or had blown the whistles. That would have been a little different there. But, and I think they're getting a little too cute on, and it's a saying that I don't know what cute is, but it's too many passes, a perfecter play.
Yeah.
Get the puck in that area in front of the blue paint and make them work in there, and you battle harder than them.
Just a little more direct, yeah.
Correct.
Just quickly, we might hear from McDavid here just in a sec, but I was going to ask you about when you're talking about obviously those being direct plays, but simplicity and just trying to make sure that you're creating traffic too. That comes with it, right? Is making sure that you got some bodies around that blue paint that can help find some of those loose pucks and change.
And the old saying, you shoot the puck and follow your puck to the net.
Yeah.
So second level chances, the goalie's going to make a save, force them to make a save, and then those pucks that lay around that blue paint area above the blue paint in home plate or the whatever you want to call the area in front of the net. Everyone calls it something different, but make them battle there. Yeah. You go there, and they're going to call penalties on you driving to the net and high sticks and cross checks and hookings and slashing and roughing because you're battling there and they're not. So that's the area. And I mentioned this after game 1 or before morning of game 1 about the area in front of
how
both
big a
nets
key it would be in this series
and how important they are. And again, tonight it plays a big part of the game as well.
Yeah, well said. Let's listen in briefly on Connor McDavid here, the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He has a couple of points in this hockey game, and his team gets the win. Let's listen in on what he had to say.
Well, Connor, it was a similar start to game 1, but can you talk about your team's willingness to stick with it? Because there's a couple of no-goal calls, some things didn't go your way, but you guys stuck with the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't get the start that we wanted. Didn't make it easy on ourselves, but obviously responded well.
Speaking of responding well, what about your goaltending, Mike Smith?
They played great. Making just a battler. Played great in there. Made some big saves. Makes a big play there to Leo to spring him there. So a little bit of everything from him tonight.
Connor, what did you see on your Leon's disallowed goal that you were a part of? Can you kind of explain maybe what happened there?
Yeah, just trying to take the puck to the net. Beat my guy and just trying to take the puck to the net. I think. I'm trying to get out of the way. Markstrom's kind of coming out at the same time, so it's the same old story. You never really know, but they deemed it that way, and that's the way it goes.
You just extra hungry to kind of get that one back because it sure looked like it.
I'm always hungry to make a play, so just happy to give him true root.
Can you just try and describe the number of ways in which your team was significantly better on this night compared to game 1? Just sort of the number of different ways that you guys improved?
I just thought we battled harder. That was all. It's just just working, being harder in battles, winning some 50-50 pucks. We didn't win many in game 1, so I thought we did a good job of that. Obviously, we defended better, I thought. Still gave up some chances, but Smitty played well, and it was,
Zach talked about the roller coaster.
All right, there's a couple of thoughts from Connor McDavid. Obviously, gives some praise to his goaltender, who faces 40 shots here tonight, makes 37 saves. The goaltender interference, I was just going to bring that up because we were talking, and you heard him and said, obviously, he beats his guy. He's trying to take it to the net. But right call on this one in terms of the goalie interference?
Well, the goalie has to be able to make a save, and he's not able to make the save here. And can't get over and push back, so McDavid's draped all over him. So I knew that right away. I was very confident in that one. It was the play that the referee was in the corner and he should have been on the back of the net that Toffoli scores.
Toffoli goal,
the puck's loose in front.
Quick whistle.
And quick whistle, get in position.
Yeah, then you see it. All right, well, let's hear. I'm sure Tyler will be asked about it too, because he's obviously there. He saw the puck the whole time and was able to find it and put it in, but the whistle had already gone. So to Foley, and it'll be Noah Hannafin at the podium now. Let's listen in.
Tyler, maybe just to start, what was the difference tonight, the way you saw it?
I think we took too many penalties. I think we got away from our type of game and started playing their game. And when that happens, they have guys that can do some of the things that they did, and obviously we didn't do a good job.
Is it the talent they have that can draw teams away from playing the type you guys wanted to?
I think since I've been here, we've done a really good job of playing our type of hockey, and I think the past 2 games here we haven't really been playing to our foundation, and obviously it's been getting away from us and giving up too many scoring chances, and Marky played great tonight and kept us in the game.
Why do you think that is, Tyler, that it's the biggest time of the year that you're getting away from your foundation?
Not really sure. I think that's something that we have to talk about within ourselves, and at the end of the day, I've said it before, last series as well, nobody's going to do it. It's only us, and we have to find a way to get back to it and play 5-on-5 hockey and take over games.
After the last game, the guys sort of on stage said that they really felt they left Jacob Markstrom out to dry. Obviously, people are going to look at it and see sort of 11 goals against, but how did you feel he played?
Yeah, Marky was great for us tonight. I think Toth nailed it. I think we're just, I think we're kind of leaving our foundation a bit, and we're playing into their hands. And when you're playing those 4-on-4s and you're short a lot, it's tough. When their top guys can touch the puck and feel it a bit. So we got to clean that up for sure. And Marky made some huge saves for us and kept us in it.
Tyler, you say your team hasn't played to your foundation yet. Is it frustrating that the series is 1-1, or are you encouraged that it's 1-1 knowing you guys haven't played your brand of hockey yet?
No, I mean, it's playoff hockey. It's not going to be perfect every single night. Things happen within a game, and we have to stay composed and not take penalties and honestly just play our type of hockey. And I think if we stay 5-on-5, we're in a good spot.
Was there a turning point in the game in your mind?
Not really. I think, obviously it's tough. We gave them kind of 4 unanswered goals there to come back into the game again, and that can't happen. I think we just gotta, when we do get an early lead like that, we gotta stick to our game. We can't get away from things, and we want to play 5-on-5 hockey against this team. I think when we do that, and especially if we have the lead, we'll be fine. But we just got to tighten it up a bit.
And the way I saw it was, you allowed 4 straight goals, but it wasn't like they dominated through that whole period. I guess you were trading chances. They just made good on theirs.
Yeah, it's just, we're not going to have too much success if we're trying to, trade chances with them. They're an opportunistic team, and they have some elite high-end skill that can capitalize when they have chances. So we got to limit that for sure.
What sort of hallmarks of your guys' game do you feel like aren't there right now?
I think the main thing for us is just trying to keep it 5-on-5. I think when we play 5-on-5, we're having good starts. I think we like our game at 5-on-5. It's just when we start getting into those situations where it's 4-on-4 and stuff, it's not to our advantage, not our game, and they have success.
Have you guys found the standard of officiating has varied, or is it just up to you guys to get to whatever level the officiating's at, so you are at 5-on-5 more?
I mean, we're not the refs. We're not making the calls. We just have to play hockey. That's what our job is, and that's what we get paid to do. Just play hockey.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. We call it the Ram 1500 Limited. But truth be told, there's nothing limited about it. Ram 1500, winner, J.D. Power Award for Best Driver Appeal.
All right, Flames post-game live brought to you by your Alberta Ram dealers. Brendan Parker alongside Tim Hunter. 5-3, the Edmonton Oilers win. Tie the series up at 1 win apiece as the series now shifts to Edmonton coming up this weekend. An earlier start time, by the way, 6 p.m., so everybody can stay awake for that one, no question. We're just talking about those 2 quick whistles, so I guess it balances out by the end of the night. Each team had a goal called back on a quick whistle, but here's both of them, and maybe just take us through what you're seeing is, they're blown dead. There's nothing you can really do about it. Even if it does go in, there's no way you can challenge it, but what do you see on these plays here?
Well, that one's hard to tell with a referee, and
did have it there momentarily underneath.
Yeah. Yeah, he's underneath him, and his D-man there, or is it? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's Stone there.
Oh, yeah. Pushes it in. So I could see that. But this one that comes to the net, it's in his feet, and you see the referee.
Yeah.
He's not fast enough from the corner to the net.
To get behind the net.
To get behind the net. He's lingering. So the puck goes to the net, and he has lots of time to get there, and he doesn't get there.
Yeah, and there the puck's free and fully
free the whole time. So, yeah, you can't rely on situations like this to win your game or keep you in a game, I guess, especially when it goes both ways. But I'm sure the referees will get a directive to get to the net quicker.
And
like the Flames will.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's where all the action happens, as you said, right in front of the blue paint. You've been watching games up by the in the crowd there. You've been enjoying the Tkachuk family too a little bit, right? That's it's been fantastic to watch, and they're celebrating and having some fun up there. But what a great family they are, aren't they?
They are, and great history with both Brady and Matthew. Coached against Matthew in the U18 World Championships in Switzerland, and then both of them in the World Juniors. Yeah. And you know, when you're in those tournaments, the families are all there, and Keith's always around. So I always run into Keith and have a few laughs about when him and I played against each other. Then my boss, Ron Wilson, who I coached with, coached Keith at you know, that great '96 team that won the World Cup. And so lots of history and fun to be around them. And I went down to give him a hard time about not throwing his hat on the ice for his son's hat trick. But who comes to a game thinking your son's going to score a hat trick? But it's his favorite hat from his favorite place, watering hole in St. Louis. So it is fun. And you know, the one thing when you're in the Flames family, it's a big family. Yeah. And I'm sitting beside Jason LaBarbera's wife. And, you know, she's on her pins and needles there because it's the goalie coach's wife.
You've seen it from a whole different perspective,
yes,
right?
But it's fun. And it's great to be involved and great to be at the games.
Good stuff. Well, appreciate the time tonight, and obviously we'll see how she comes back here for Game 5. We know there'll be a Game 5. It's just a matter of what the situation will be when they return from a pair in Edmonton. So off we go. Series is on now.
Sure is.
Tim Hunter there on the Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by your Alberta Ram dealers. Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers tied at a win apiece, as it's a 5-3 victory here tonight thanks to 2 third-period goals for the Edmonton Oilers. The game winner goes to Zach Hyman, shorthanded. So that's the situation we're in as it goes to Game 3 on Sunday, a 6 p.m. start from Rogers Place. We'll have plenty of coverage over the next couple of days, and of course we'll be up there in Edmonton to bring you all the action. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live. We'll see you back here at the Scotiabank Saddledome for Game number 5 in just a little under a week's time.